Hey guys, Calvin Parr here with Liberate TV, and today I want to talk about the unconstitutional violations that the justice system undergoes on a daily basis. Now, it's so corrupt that we don't even feel safe around law enforcement anymore. In fact, we feel scared, we get tense, we feel like we have to act normal in some way or another while we're around them or we pass them on the street because we feel like they'll abuse their powers in some way. And that's so wrong because the government blind them and us into believing that they have more control over us than we do them. But that's simply not the case, because they are public servants. Our taxes go to paying their bills. So you think they would show a little bit more respect to the people who financially support them, right? No, that's simply not the case. And if you aren't able to see how flawed the system is at the moment, by the end of this video, I hope it helps you, and I hope you get as pissed off as I am that we've let this tyranny go on for too long. 2.2 million people are incarcerated in U.S. prisons to date. That's more citizens per capita than the top 6 countries in the world combined. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, how is that possible? Doesn't China have quadruple the population that the U.S. has? Yes, that's my point. So, do we have more crazy people, or are people more violent in America, or do we just have more guns? What is it? Well, here's the reason. Some prisons are privately owned. Some are owned by the government. Now, if the inmates in either of these prisons go up, so does the amount of money that they get. One, the privately owned prisons hold stock on the stock market. Now, the prisons that are owned by the government get taxes. Exactly $80 billion a year. Our money, our paycheck, $80 billion a year. And 60% of the inmates across the U.S. are non-violent. So, these non-violent offenders are getting 25 to life as a possibility, and we're picking up the tab for that. Get mad. And instead of putting them in a re-education system or investing in their community to make them in a better environment and change their mentality a bit and give them hope and motivation, we're keeping them in prison because the war on drugs is just a fucking business, just like everything else in this country. Now to talk about the first thing that's wrong with the justice system. Racism. Oh yes, there is racism going on within the justice system, believe it or not. If you say, no there isn't, well here's some statistics for you. 1 in every 35 black people is behind bars right now. 1 in every 88 Latino, and 1 in every 214 white. And 79% of the population, US population to be exact, is white. There's obviously an unjust ratio. Well, if you say, most of the criminal communities are people of color. Well, here's some statistics for you. 72% of all drug users are white. 69% of all violent crimes are committed by people of white color. Where's your argument at now? And here's another thing that you need to think about these violent criminal communities. 1 in every 9 black children has a parent behind bars right now. And so if we're looking at it from a psychological standpoint, you got to think of nature versus nurture, right? They're not automatically, from the get-go, they're not given the proper environment to prosper in. And then you got to bring in more statistics. 25% of them won't graduate high school, and 26% live below the poverty line. But here's the thing that's wrong. After these kids are thrown into jail for their first offense, which is usually non-violent, they come out and they're just thrown right back into the survival situation. They don't have the opportunity to be given a second chance. They aren't re-educated while they're in prison. They aren't given rehab. They aren't given anything like that. So how do we expect them to just come out and, oh, I think I should change? No, the people that they're in jail with are all these criminals at the same time, so they all have the same mentality. They're not re-educated, they're not put through anything like that to change their mindset. They're just getting more pissed off and more angry. And if you look at the statistics who are of the kids who are incarcerated, are more likely to do crimes after they get out. Now on to the next flaw within the justice system. You want to know who the biggest gang in the United States is? Law enforcement. Killing over 3,400 citizens in the past 3 years. Well, Calvin, how many cops died on duty in the past 2 years? 382. And you want to know how many were shot? 118. Wait a minute, 118 doesn't equal 3,400, does it? No. That's not justice. That's murder. Their actions are not justified. And for the justice system to be able to stand there and back them up, saying that they just carry a dangerous job and they're doing whatever it takes to stay alive, that is not justice. Just because you're given a badge doesn't mean you can do whatever you want without consequence. Just when cops get scared, they're just pulling out their gun. Instead of pulling out a taser or self-defense or have proper training, they're just taught to pull out their gun and defend themselves that way. You can pull up so many videos on the internet and seeing how many people are unarmed but get the gun pulled on them. Even, I watched a video where a guy was just simply filming a cop from his driveway, and this cop was going around slowly in his driveway. He's filming him. The cop comes out and just pulls out his gun. Doesn't say anything, just pulls out his gun. And the guy's freaking out because he doesn't know why the hell he's doing this. Because there's no reason. And it's not necessarily the cop's fault, right? There has to be something wrong with the system while they're training. They need to be put through more proper training. In Ferguson the other day, there was police training reform. They actually made it a huge deal. And so that's good. That's a positive note that people are realizing that there does need to be change within the justice system of how they're training their officers. But the problem is it's not just in Ferguson. It's everywhere in the country. And just because I haven't had a gun pulled on me for not doing anything doesn't mean I can't have empathy for those that have and those who are mistreated on a daily basis. Going on with this information, what do we do about it? Well, like I said, 60% of all inmates are nonviolent offenders. They never hurt anyone but themselves. Yes, they owe a contribution to society. Don't get me wrong, they do. But they don't owe 25 to life. They don't owe a permanently bad record. We need to be putting them in a system where they can get re-educated and motivated to be a proper member of society. Someone that can love and care for others and actually look after people. That's what everyone is supposed to be doing. That is a proper society. Another thing that needs to be changed is the fact that cops constantly are killing people. On average, every day, there's at least one person killed. There has not been a single day in the United States in the past 3 years where there's not been at least one person killed by police officers. It's been multiple. And in 2015, there was not a single police officer charged with manslaughter or murder. Out of the 1,200 citizens that were killed, not a single cop murdered. Especially the cases like Eric Gardner, Tamir Reese, the cases that were caught on camera and clear as day fucking film of them choking them to death or murdering them when they have no weapon on them and have done nothing wrong. How is this not murder? It needs to be changed, and the people need to wake up and start making it publicized and tweet about it, do whatever you can to spread the information and get people pissed off. I'm tired of no one caring and just turning the blind eye and saying ignorance is bliss. It's not affecting me. It's not affecting my world. Why should I care? These people should be the ones caring. No, we are a collective unit. We are humans. We are all humans. We are not black. We are not white. We are not Latino. We are nothing. We are humans. At our very core, we are all humans. Have empathy for one another. Feel the love and compassion that you should have for each other, not the separation that has blinded you. They make us believe we're separate but equal. So let's unite and fight to free the people. Please stay aware. Peace and love.